hope you don't mind. I think we'd better talk.
You're a funny kind of a lawyer. The music, I mean.
Well, aren't lawyers supposed to like music?
Well, not that kind of music.
Oh, well, I guess that settles it. I'm a funny kind of lawyer. Where's your home, Mrs. Mannion? I mean, where'd you go to school? Where'd you live when you were growing up?
Oh, no place in particular. We sort of moved around. My father was a boomer, construction boomer, building dams mostly. You can call me Laura.
Is your family still alive, Laura?
No.
I don't know. I have some cigarettes around here someplace.
You want a cigarette?
No, I wanted to offer you one.
You could light it for me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's just like your husband, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. He gave me this because I like the one he had. He's like that. He gives me presents all the time.
You have a happy marriage?
Yes.
Well, what went wrong with the first marriage?
Well, what went wrong is when I went for Manny.
Well, that's honest enough.
Well, it was more than just that. Like I told you, I grew up on the move, and Jack, that was my first husband, Jack didn't like to move. He wouldn't even take a transfer when he had the chance. I was really bored. Manny likes to go. We're always going whenever we get the chance. We've been all over. I'm thirsty.
Water, or would a beer do?
I think a beer would do fine.
Maid, bring me a bottle of beer, will you?
Are you married?
No.
That's nice. What do you do alone in this house if you aren't married?
Well, it's a family home, the little Alaska family.
There you are.
Thank you.
Aren't you having one?
No, not right now, honey. There you are.
Oh, could Muff have a little in that ashtray, maybe? He loves beer.
You want a beer for the dog?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here we are.
He'll go to sleep now. Isn't he cute?
Yeah. Well, how about it? Are you ready? I mean, are you ready to tell me the story?
I know what you mean.
Well, now, suppose you tell me everything you told the state police, plus everything you didn't tell the state police.
Well, where shall I begin?
But what time did you leave for Quill's bar?
Right after dinner. About 8:30, I guess. Manny was late getting home from the firing range, so we had dinner. He lay down and went to sleep. I hadn't been out of the trailer almost all day, so I took Muff and a flashlight and walked over to the bar. I bought a drink and played the pinball machine.
Many people in the bar?
Not many. Barney came over and challenged me to a game. For drinks, you know.
How well did you know Barney?
Well, he owned this bar where Manny and I went sometimes, that's all.
Had he ever made a pass at you?
No, nothing like that at all.
Was he drinking heavily that night?
Didn't seem to be. At least not when we were playing pinball.
Were you with him the whole time you were there?
Oh, no, there were other people playing, too.
And what time did you leave the bar?
Oh, about 11, I guess. I left by the side door. Muff was carrying the flashlight. He carries it in his mouth. He's so cute, running along ahead with the light shining.
Was he sober?
Oh, Muff, of course he was sober. Oh, you're joking now, aren't you?
Yes, I'm joking. Go on.
Well, Barney came from somewhere, not the door I left by, and he said he was going my way and he could drive me home. He said the bears had been prowling around that night and I oughtn't to walk home. The bears come out of the woods at night to scavenge.
Yeah, well, they're harmless enough, aren't they?
Yeah, I suppose I wouldn't have been afraid in the daylight, but, well, the dark isn't the same, you know.
Yes, I know. Now, you got into Barney's car.
I got in and he drove straight to the trailer park.
He made overtures?
No, nothing. When we got to the trailer park, the auto gate was closed. Mr. Lemon closes it about 11 or a little after. So I thanked Barney and started to get out of the car. But he said that there wasn't any need for me to walk, that he could drive me into the park on another road. Now, I didn't know there was another road, but he drove on before I could say yes or no.
Well, were you alarmed?
No. I'm not usually afraid of men. And anyway, he hadn't touched me or even said anything out of the way.
Well, doesn't a woman sort of instinctively know when a fellow's on the make?
Oh, sure. But that's only usual with me. With men, I mean. Almost all men, ever since I was a kid. You, for instance. You're interested. But there isn't any reason to be afraid of you. It was like that with Barney.
Well, now, Mrs. Mannion, believe me, I'm not in the least...
Call me Laura.
Laura, I'm only interested in helping your husband, nothing more.
Oh, I don't mean you try anything. I just mean it's the way you look at me.
Well, it'd be very difficult not to look at you.
Oh, the way I dress, you mean? You don't like it?
Oh, I love it. I just love it. Now, we'd better keep moving along with this thing. Now, how were you dressed that night?
Oh, in a sweater like this and a skirt.
And the rest, what about that?
Underneath, I had on a slip and panties and a bra.
No girdle?
I don't need a girdle. Do you think I need a girdle?
I don't know. I don't know. How should I... Look, I'm only concerned with a few facts that might be of help to me in the defense of your husband. That's all.
Well, I don't wear one.
Okay, no girdle. Okay. All right, now go on.
Well, he turned off the highway into a lane in the woods, and he stopped the car and turned off the lights. And then he grabbed me and he said, "I'm going to rape you," just like that.
Do you use those words?
Exactly those words. Muff began to bark, so he threw him out the window. I could hear little Muffy whining outside the car all through it. And Barney began to try to get at me, and I fought him off as best I could, but he was terribly strong.
Did you cry out? Did you scream?
Didn't seem to be much use out there in the woods. He began to shout names at me, like Army Slut and some other names. And then he drew back and hit me with his fist. He hit me again, and I didn't fight anymore. I must have been only half conscious, but I know that he tore my panties off and did what he wanted.
Now, the newspaper said that a doctor examined you and said that he didn't think you'd been raped.
I don't care what the doctor thought. A woman doesn't mistake these things.
All right. All right, now go ahead.
Well, I don't know exactly what happened then. I must have fainted, but the next thing I remember, the car was moving. Barney was driving very fast, and he was breathing hard, a ugly, gasping sound. We were on the main road to the trailer park, and he swung in by the gate and stopped. I opened the door to get out. Muffy jumped out first with a lighted flashlight in his mouth.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. I thought you said he'd thrown Muff out of the car back in the woods.
Well, he did, but Muff was in the car when we got back. He must have let him back in. I don't remember.
All right, all right. Now, you opened the door and Muff got out first. All right.
Before I could get out, Barney grabbed me and said he was going to tear all my clothes off and attack me again. I got away and ran. I could see Muff at an opening in the fence. He was scooting back and forth with a flashlight. Barney caught me from behind, and I fell to the ground. He fell on top of me and began to beat me again with his fists. I thought he was going to kill me. I screamed, and somehow or other I got to my feet again and ran. I went through the opening in the fence, followed Muffy, who was running along ahead with the flashlight, and I kept following the light until he led me to our trailer.
And you didn't see Barney again?
Never laid eyes on him again, dead or alive.
Well, I think that's enough for now.
I've got lots of time. All you want.
Where can I reach you?
Well, I'm still in Thunder Bay, but I can drive down again in the morning.
Was something else?
No. Thanks for letting me play the records.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Who's that?
The lady in the case.
Oh. Well, you're not going to take the case, huh?
Well, I don't know. That depends on what Mannion has to tell me tomorrow. He's thinking things out.
Oh, well, that's more like it.
Now, if I take the case, I want you in it.
Me? In a big murder case? Why, probably the sight of this whiskey-drinking old man at the council table would ruin you.
I need you.
You mean that?
Why else would he say it?